Hey everyone, it's Len at Lion Strong Athletics. 99% of you should have multiple goals. Goals in health, aesthetics, strength, sport, and longevity. And dependent on factors like your age, your fitness history, your injury history, and your athleticism, those exercises you do towards your goals might be a little bit different. But today I want to go over 3 exercises that I make everyone do. Regardless of those factors, they always do these exercises. I want to go over why I have them in their programs and why you should consider putting them in yours. Before we get going, hit that subscribe button. We're releasing multiple videos each week. If you hit that button, you can stay up to date on our newest video. The first exercise I give to everyone is an anti-rotation or a rotation exercise, such as a Pallof press or a wood chop. Or we can play around and combine the two, which I'll show you in a second. The reason that I do this exercise is such a good core developer because it hits all the muscles from our transverse abdominis to our rectus abdominis to our internal and external obliques on our sides. We're working all of our core and provides a lot of strength and stability. Another reason is this exercise is really easy to be creative on. If you don't like to do the same exercises all the time, we can make little tweaks to mix things up a bit. Another great reason is it's a real world exercise. I twist to grab things all the time. I'm moving something around. If somebody accidentally bumps me, this exercise can prepare me for real world activities. And the last reason is sports, or even just hanging out with your family. Maybe you're throwing a football or baseball around with your kid or grandkid. This is going to help you stay active so that you can perform an exercise or perform a sport without being injured. And if you're on the other side of that, where you're an athlete, this is going to make you superior in your sport. If you're a golfer, this is going to make you hit the ball harder. If you play racket sports, you can twist through your shots better, and you'll just be overall better at what you do. Let's hop into the first anti-rotation rotation exercise. Let's get into a couple anti-rotation or rotation exercises, and then you can pick out which ones you might want to try for yourself. I've set up a band here attached to a machine that's not going anywhere, but you could also use a cable machine. So first, let's get into a Pallof press. This exercise is an anti-rotation exercise. So I want to find an athletic position or a sport-specific position if you're training for sport. I want to bring my fingers together like this for comfort, and I'm going to, in this athletic position, hold my core tight and push straight out in front of me. Now at that peak position here, this cable is trying to pull me back. And what I'm doing is holding my core tight to make sure that does not happen. I can make the exercise harder by walking out further, or easier by walking in. If you're using a cable, you make the exercise harder by just adding more weight. So that is the basics for anti-rotation. I'm giving a force, and I'm not letting that force move me at all. If you want to get creative with it, we can play around a little bit on heights to make it target different parts of my abs and my obliques. I can push up to the ceiling or down to the floor. And I can make the exercise my own or something that I like. So the next part is a rotation exercise. And it's just the exact same setup, but instead of being static and fighting this off, I am being active and twisting through. So the situation is the same. I'm going to cross my fingers and I'm going to drive through across my body like that. And I'm using my muscles to accomplish a twisting motion. Now again, I can get very creative with this. Say I play golf. I might want to go towards the ground just like my golf stance and drive through and work those muscles specific to my sport. Maybe I'm a baseball player. I don't want to mimic my baseball swing and come straight across. You can do whatever you want that works for you. You can mix it up and have a lot of fun. Or you can combine both. We can do a Pallof press and then go straight into a wood chop and back into a Pallof press. We have a lot of options, and I encourage you to mix things up and try to make the exercise that you're going to love the most. The second type of exercise that I make everyone do is a glute isolation. And we can accomplish this by doing a hamstring dominant glute thrust or a quad dominant glute thrust, which we'll get into in just a second. Now, the reason why I make everyone do glute work is because we are counteracting our lifestyles. Everyone is sitting around a desk doing their job, sitting when we get home. Our glutes are lying dormant, and we need to wake them up and get them active again. Another reason is getting strong glutes is going to help us fight off something called our anterior pelvic tilt. And it's when we sit with our body in this position here. Long term, that's going to lead to pain and discomfort. If we can turn our glutes on, we can get into a better posture for long-term enjoyment of life, lack of pain, and we'll be better at what we do throughout life. Now, the last reason, of course, again, is sports and activity. Whether you're playing with your kids or grandkids or you're in a league, driving through your glutes is the basis of a lot of rotation. It's the basis of an athletic position. My glutes are the ones holding me here. And if they're turned off, then my knees and my quads are going to take a lot of the strain. So we need to learn how to turn our glutes on so that we can be more efficient when we're playing sports or doing activities. Let's get into the glute isolation choices that you have. We're going to start with a hamstring dominant and move on to a quad dominant glute thrust. Okay, thrusting is a great way to isolate our glutes. Now I have a Roman chair here, and we're going to use this for the hamstring dominant glute thrust. I want you to load yourself up so this is around hip height and it's comfortable to hinge forward and back. Okay. Now, because I want to get my glutes firing and I want that to do the work itself, I need to focus on pre-contracting that to bring me up. Now, a common mistake you see on this is people will use their lower back muscles and lift up like this. You see how I have that curve in my lower back? We really want to avoid that. And if anything, I kind of want you to go forward and turn on your abs. Because in that position, if we squeeze our butt muscles, our glutes, we can bring ourselves up and back down without the use of our lower back. This isolation move is going to make sure that it turns our glutes on and turns the surrounding muscles off. Now, our second choice is a quad dominant glute isolation. And this is very common in the gym. You've seen it with barbells, or people put dumbbells for extra added weight, and that's totally fine. Make sure you're on your heels here. I want you to focus on contracting through your glutes again to come up, just like this. See how I didn't change my upper body to accomplish that exercise? I just thrusted with my glutes to bring that up. I don't want to have my back extend with me up like this, because now it's helping me do the work. I just want to have my glutes push forward out of that anterior pelvic tilt and squeeze. Now, a quad dominant is going to hit more of my mid to upper glute, while a hamstring dominant is going to hit more of my lower glute. So it is important that you alternate between the two. Try them out maybe on different days, see which one works for you. The last exercise that I make everyone do is a single leg pickup. We can do a quad dominant version like a split squat, or we can do a hamstring dominant version like a single leg Romanian. The reason I do this is a real world exercise. When we're outside of the gym, we actually do these throughout our whole day. We might not realize that we're doing it. So if we can maximize our strength and our ability to perform these exercises in the gym, we're going to be efficient, strong, and away from injury outside the gym. Let's get into our single leg pickups. I want to start with a quad dominant pickup. That's going to be a split squat. We don't realize how often we do this exercise in the real world outside of the gym. So if we can practice this and get better at it, we'll make sure that we are efficient out there. So the first thing with a a split squat is, you might see it when you go to pick up something. I am putting my foot slightly behind me and I am reaching down. And I'm often placing my knee right on the ground. This is how I play with kids. This is how I pick up my groceries. There's so many implications to this exercise, and we're often in this position throughout our day. So what I would want to do is set up weights. We can get creative with it. I can hold 2 weights and drive up like this. These weights are even right now, and perform reps just like I would if I was picking something up off the ground. But I can also get creative, especially if my goal is to be stronger in my environment outside the gym. I can pick up a heavy one on my right and a light one on my left, just like if I was carrying groceries and I had one bag with the heavy milk in it and the other one has the pillow I just bought. Or I can pick up one-sided. I can grab here if I'm just picking up one thing off the ground. The key here is I can be creative, and I can mix up techniques and mix up exercises so that my body is ready to accomplish a bunch of different goals. Now the second exercise is a hamstring dominant single leg pickup. We're going to use a Romanian single leg Romanian deadlift for this. And it's because, again, throughout the day, I go to pick something up off the ground. Often that is what I do. I put my weight on one leg, I hinge myself forward, I kick the other leg back in the air, and I might pick up a toy off the ground that my kid left out. So we want to mimic this environment and try to get strong through that so that I don't go to pick up something and, oh, I hurt my back doing it. We want to make sure we're strong, efficient. So what I want you to do when you go to pick something up is we're going to try to stay fairly square and not open up our hips to the side of the leg that's in the air. So I'm staying square. I'm kicking that leg back. I'm going to reach for that. I'm going to drive through my hamstring and my glute to come up. Now again, I can be creative with this. I can lift the same weights in front of me, just like this. I can lift weights of different sizes to test my balance and strength in different positions. Or I can lift with a single side, either left or right. And it gives me a little bit of freedom to mix up my workouts and make sure I'm ready for whatever faces me outside the gym. Well, there you have it. The 3 exercises that I make everyone do. A rotation, anti-rotation, a glute thrust, and a single leg pickup. I hope you learned a lot from this video. And if you enjoyed it, hit that like and subscribe button. If you didn't enjoy it, go hit that like and subscribe button anyways. Leave me a comment and let me know what video you want to see next.